What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling fantastic today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Stuff has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our lovely ruler here, the good old Moon. Does she do great when I can't find the moon? Rhonda's a great substitute. And I'll talk about what sign she's in for both of them. What sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void of courses, all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. First off, Cancer, happy Mercury Day. It's Wednesday. We're feeling chill, feeling zen, or at least I hope so. And if not Cancer, then I think it may be time to go void of course because the moon is. The moon's going to be, when that's smooth, the moon's going to be going void of course at about 5:38 in the morning. Yep, thank you. At about 5:38 in the morning, and that's going to be Eastern time. And she'll be moving from Leo into Virgo at about 7:13 in the evening. So we're looking at about a 13-hour, 36-minute void. Of course, there, Cancer. And since Leo, is what, day 3 of Leo, but since Leo dominates the majority of the day, I guess we'll give them a little more attention. But with the moon being in Leo, this is a great energy for self-expression, Cancer. So if you've been needing to, and look at that, day 3 of being creative, Cancer. So I mean, just create your heart away, whatever that's looking like. Art, music, dance. I mean, Cancer, we can even get a little abstract with it. You can be creative with art, or with art, with like math, maybe science. How? I'm gonna leave that up to you, Cancer. But definitely tap into that more. However, you get into that more intuitive space, you could even just be, I don't know. I was thinking splitting logs somewhere, Cancer. I don't know what you do with your life, Cancer, but it's exciting. I like that. But also, this is great for not even just like doing like self-expression, but even maybe learning some new type of hobbies or picking up some new interests along those lines. Leo's associated with the 5th house, which is all about fun and creativity, romance. Great time for, also Cancer, if you've been thinking about a little love, maybe looking for something new, or maybe you've been wanting to do something a little special for someone you're already with. Maybe going to throwing a big picnic, or maybe cooking a nice dinner for them, setting up something real nice. I see rose petals all over the place. Cancer, you're such a romantic. But also, we're in the new moon phase, Cancer. And with this energy, this is where manifestation is hot. It's like a portal just opened up. And now we're getting ready to sow seeds. And it's like it's stating what you desire to the universe. Do you want to, is there an area where you want to grow in? Is there like a routine that we want to establish? Is there something we want to cut out? However that's looking, Cancer, it's meant to, I feel like, great energy for like really kind of connecting in and kind of receiving guidance from higher self, and really kind of clarifying, your intentions, and all about new beginnings and making a wish. And very I like that, they associate like it's with the Fool, that kind of fresh start there. So definitely work with these energies, Cancer. Oh crap, Cancer. I totally skipped over the void of course. I was like, that seemed awfully short for this. But let's talk about the void of course. Let me backtrack. Because with the void of course energy, this is a great energy for just kind of recharging your batteries, just resetting yourself, Cancer, after with all the energies that we tend to be exposed to all the times, and that we can kind of pick up whether we're conscious of it or not. It's a great way of just kind of like washing that away and just kind of finding yourself again, whether that be through meditation, however that's looking. Maybe you're taking it, maybe you're literally kind of taking like maybe like an Epsom bath, or even just like even just something as simple as just like showering, just like kind of cleansing, just the making sure that we're just washing away those energies, that excess stuff there, Cancer. And you may also notice too that your plans may be subject to unexpected changes during this time, and that people may be less likely to make decisions during this period. So just something to pay attention to there, Cancer. Oh yeah, and I think I covered everything else there. So, last few things. These readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested in Cancer. But also down below some links for some other readers that I like watching, so definitely check them out. Really great group. Just real. I think you'll really enjoy their energies, Cancer. So definitely give them a check. Check them out when you get a chance. But let's get into your general energy of the day. Oh, interesting, Cancer. Very fascinating, because I'm pretty sure we had this card yesterday. But we have the first card of Gemini's, which is the Sapphire card. I was going to have you guess that time. But with this card, as I was thinking about it. But with this card, this is a card of mental force, spiritual insight, hope and faith, wise judgment, power and strength, kindness, life of the party, extroverted, motivate, precious, valued, holy, divine, favor, and revered. An energy that's coming through this time on this card, Cancer, is the hope and faith. And sometimes I feel that when we are going through this journey, that's a lot. Sometimes, especially when I feel we're in our kind of more on the more waning end of the lessons, when things are kind of like at their low, a lot of the times we could use that hope and faith that can push us in order to arise above this thing. And I know that may sound a little trite sometimes, it's like, keep the hope, keep the faith, but have faith in things. But it is, because listen, I know where I'm a big fan of enthusiasm. Even at my lowest, even when I was helping at others, I'm usually I would always tell people that I'm like I was back when before I was really kind of working on myself. I was always telling people that I'm like a low key optimist, but but it's it's that enthusiasm, that optimism, that hope in things that makes life worthwhile. It reminds us that we're sure this might be low, but that there is something to look forward to in the long run. How long that is, that's where the trickiness comes in, and I feel like that's where sometimes it's where that that muscle can kind of get it can get tired after a while. And where I would never say that we ignore problems that are going down with us, or even like and it's to not like push away like the doubts and things per se, because there has to be that balance there, Cancer. But it just feels like that maybe for some, if you've been noticing that we're really kind of lacking on hope and faith here as of late. This might be something where, because I think sometimes, Cancer, I feel like with our sign we tend to want to just, because we're the mothers of the zodiac, we're the nurturers, like the ones who, even when we don't have it together, we can at least we can turn it on when we need to, and I feel like that's with everybody. But I feel like that's a real kind of strong attribute. I remember talking with someone. I may have told this story before. I remember talking with someone in at a store once where I found out that he was a Cancer, and just was, hey, how you doing? It was like later down. He's like, hey, how are you doing? I was like, doing all right. How are you? He's like, I'm doing all right, but being Cancer, even if I was, I wouldn't tell you anyway. You're always good. Kind of laughed about it, but it's just like, well, yeah, that's kind of the thing. But I'm just thinking with like how we got the Gemini energy, and Gemini is about communication and things, that maybe this is something where it's about sharing these concerns, like these doubts and these more kind of darker, maybe kind of sadder type of energies that we might be going through. And where it's not even necessarily that we're looking for someone to lift us up per se. Sometimes it's nice to just have someone, especially someone kind of close and trusted, to just even just listen, just to, it's like, like, and just to create that space to just be vulnerable, to not have it all figured out, to not have it, because Cancer, we're all figuring this thing out one day at a time. One minute, the trajectory's clear, and then life throws you a curveball, and it's just like, well, F. Like, what do I do with all this? And this almost gives me kind of like Ten of Swords vibes, where we kind of hit that like rock bottom place again, but I'm kind of glad that we gave this energy to Leo, because that was something I was debating about if we're going to give this to Leo or to Virgo, but I'm kind of glad that we gave it to Leo, because this one is, where even in the kind of darker times, where the sun may set and it gets dark, the sun is always rising, and it's just always a reminder that just as the sun gets up and rises, that we can too, Cancer, and that we can bring that life and that vitality. But I do feel like there is, where it is nice to have that optimism, that hope and faith in things, we do need to also give that space, and, to share in all the good stuff. We do need a space to also share in those more kind of tough times, excuse me, as well. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details. Thank you. All right, Cancer, let's see what's going on here. Oh, all right. Oh, I like that, Cancer. I really like that, because you have the Five of Wands, the Six of Stars, the Tower, and then the Star here. And let's talk about the Five of Wands Let's talk about the Five of Wands, because the Five of Wands can be a card of conflict. It's a card of, when we're faced with those challenges. Because when we do find ourselves in those kind of lower energies, they're not meant to just kind of keep us down. When like there's that curveball, when towers just come at us out of nowhere. It's those energies there are to show you where areas that need more balance, that need to be restored, that need that healing, with the Star card being here. And the nice thing about this energy too, Cancer, is after the Tower comes the Star. And I feel like it's the question too is just like, how do we cope with with these situations in here. And the Star card is Aquarius energy, and Aquarius is about that friend group, the friends, making connections, networking, things along those lines. But maybe for some, where Aquarius is that friend group, like, I feel that maybe for some it's like, it's one thing to have friends and things, but maybe we don't have, or it may not even that we don't have, or it's like maybe we don't want to maybe scare away our group, or to show that vulnerability or something along those lines to people, because we don't want to maybe mess up the dynamic or something along those lines. It's okay for them to come to you with all the problems, Cancer, because you can, you know how to help people out there and get their stuff. Oh yeah, come on, that's we just got to have a game plan. I'll get you lifted up, get you feeling well, and get you out on your way. But there needs to be that reciprocity, Cancer. And and that's kind of an interesting kind of turn there too, because maybe for some there has been this balance of, I don't know, it's like maybe for like the social group that we have, maybe there is that feeling of where, everyone can count on you, but maybe you don't feel like you can. And it might be because of the actions that they've shown, but maybe it could be too, Cancer, that we might be assuming that they can't assuming that they can't handle it when really we haven't given them the opportunity to try to do this thing. And this might be something where we might need to just like be like, hey, can I just establish a safe space here and just like really, just judgment free zone to just really just kind of like, and we don't necessarily got to dump our purses out, but just like even just like get the base level out, because I feel that's I feel like it's tough for anyone to really kind of share those kind of deep feelings and when we're going through those doubts and things along those lines. But I feel that there can be where sure there might be some who might not be able to handle it, and that can hurt Cancer, but I can feel like it can be refreshing too where we do find those ones who can give you what you give back to them and really kind of form a really tight bond can really come from that too. But let me get a little bit more on this Six of Stars here, Cancer. Cancer. Interesting. So, over here. So, the Six of Stars is clarified by the Two of Cups and the Hermit. And that's what I'm kind of feeling, Cancer, that maybe for some that I feel like we've been maybe kind of keeping things kind of bottled up, and keeping stuff yeah, I did. Yeah, just kind of keeping maybe our feelings to ourselves here. In the Two of Cups, I feel there's a need to kind of share this stuff. Where it's the beautiful things about the relationships that we form is that there is, when we really do have that reciprocity, that something beautiful can really form from this thing, and then the conflicts and stuff become a little less, burdensome, and then we're and it's not that we're forming this level of like codependency or something along those lines, but it's I don't know, it just makes it so that you're not just dealing with, because it's a lot, Cancer, when you're keeping your own type of stuff bottled in and keeping that stuff and then throwing on others people's stuff on top of that. That's a whole lot to put on one person, and where we can do and we can and are meant to do things by ourselves, there are other things that we're meant to do as a team. Because even thinking too with Virgo, and this is now I'm kind of stretching this a little bit, but Virgo is a sign of service, kind of about the community and things. And I just feel like there's still that level of interaction that's just kind of needed. Or it may be something too, that might be that might be even a way for us to maybe even kind of restore. And it's not to say that your situation is any less than anyone, or any less than anyone else's, but sometimes too I feel that when we can, maybe when we're being of service, for some, whether this be through maybe volunteering or however that might be looking, that it can teach us, as we're showing compassion and empathy towards others, it can be a reminder to show that same sort of love for ourselves, and to remind ourselves that we have to fill our cups up too, and that we can't really that's another thing too, and we can't really be of effective service, I feel like, Cancer too, if we're running on depleted cups here, and if we're no really lacking this sense of hope and faith here. But interesting, Cancer. I hope that makes sense. All right, Cancer. I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think we're gonna move on from that. Let's see what other energy kind of comes through here. let's see what else is going on here. All right, Cancer. So you have the Six of Wands, the Page of Crystals, the Knight of Cups, and then the Ace of Wands here. And you know, Cancer, I feel like too, one thing with our sign, because we do feel so much and feel so much so often, that I feel that maybe for some of us we feel like that, like it's like the idea of maybe sharing that with others would be, it would be again too much. We feel like it would be too much for them to bear, you know, or there's that fear that if we were to share this thing, that there wouldn't be that support there, Cancer. But I feel that the people that, and I'm hoping that the people that we have around us, you know, would be there to want to lift you up, just how you're in the, because I imagine, you know, if this was one of your friends, and you know, you'd be right in the crowd, probably front row, cheering them on like, hell yeah, you made it to the top of that mountain, you wave those wands in the air, wave around like you just don't care. But we want to make sure to, and I feel that I'm almost feeling that if this is not like a more kind of personal, like where we don't feel like we just like, I don't know, it's like I don't know if we don't like, I don't, it's like we don't maybe it almost feels like a sense of like a trust thing. But let me stick with, if first, if we don't feel like we have the people that are around us, you know, maybe we tried to share stuff with them but it's not quite met with that same, they may not give you what you give them per se, then maybe it's time to maybe kind of shift that energy. And it's not that we're cutting them off, it's just like, okay, this is your capacity, you know, you have this much stamina for this, and it's like, that's cool. Now it's like, maybe we push this thing otherwise. And something too to think about, Cancer, and this isn't kind of medical advice or anything like that, but if we have been kind of feeling on a low end, you know, maybe the sense of like depression or sadness or something along those lines, and maybe even seeking some sort of like professional help, however that might be looking like. But you know, this journey is one that is where, yes, there's going to be successes and victories, but it's not all the time like that. You know, we do have our challenges, but they shape us into the stars that we are, Cancer. And I feel like with the Ace of Wands, I'm almost kind of feeling like, if this is like the Ace of Wands is giving me like that, if we don't just necessarily trust that people have the capacity to deal with what we're dealing with, and because that can hurt, you know, when it's but I will say, Cancer, when you do take that chance, I don't know, there's like an energy of, if we were to take that energy and just like to kind of trust this thing, like, let me get a little bit more on this Ace of Wands before I get into that. Thank you. All right, Cancer. Okay, so the Ace of Wands is clarified by the Eight of Cups, the Five of Crystals, and then the Self card, one of the special major arcanas in this deck. And I'm getting a sense of fear here, that it's just like, let's see how she's kind of hoarding her, and I don't know if I mentioned this to Cancer, the crystals are swords in this deck, and then the stars are pentacles. And you see how she's kind of hoarding all this crystals to herself. I feel like for some it's just like we're afraid that maybe for some, for sharing these thoughts are really kind of maybe showing our true selves here, because we are afraid that people may kind of leave us behind. You know, that maybe there's just like there are too many cups, too many feelings for them to kind of deal with, and it's just like you know, like you might be, you know what I mean, Cancer, but I do feel like that in itself, where that can hurt, it does teach you who you can do these, because they're I feel like it's not everyone that you're going to run into, or that everyone that is in your circle that is like that, you know, that can't, but it's like, because Cancer, I have my moon placement. You know, the moon is the moon placement in astrology is a very it's a very close placement. It deals with like your subconscious, your emotions, you know, the how you want to be nurtured, all those types of things. And my moon placement is in a very public placement. It's in the 10th house. You know, it's opposite in our in Capricorn's house. And so that's always a weird place, because I'm always just like, just if you get me, if you want me to talk about my family, I have no problem. Like we could talk about, actually someone earlier today was like, oh well, we were talking about dreams and things, and I was telling them something about that, and they were just like, oh well, I don't want to get in all that. And I was like, no, 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 let's not do mysteries. No, I don't like, we don't do that. Like, no, tell me this stuff, you know, like it's it can be tough, Cancer, but I feel like that there is, and it's not that we're bearing our hearts to everyone, but it's just like making sure just to have that connection, because if we don't have that outlet, Cancer, and maybe too, if you don't feel comfortable with that, then maybe even just like starting with journaling, you know, while we're getting this feeling out, because then maybe we could even find the source of this fear. You know, where is that coming from? You know, why did this particular situation impact us in such a way? And that's just one example, Cancer, of what we can maybe do, as far as like just figuring out, you know, the source of this maybe fear, this distrust, or something along those lines here. But I just feel like maybe the idea, it's like the idea of what we, the idea of that there's no one out there that will understand your thought process, or, you know, understand this fluctuation and things. I feel that that would change the more that we start to kind of trust, and like, and you know, just kind of feel people out, give them 6 of stars, give them what you get back, you know, and then and have that reciprocity there. Because maybe, because I'm like, you know, like I was saying, like I'm the type, like if you give me a platform, I'll dump it all out there if you want. But you know, I'm learning too that there is even a sense of, you gotta kind of balance that out a little bit. But it is something where it's a work in progress, but it does helps, it helps you in the long run, and it gets you a stronger, it's just a stronger, I don't know, just it restores that faith, and that Cancer, I think I hope that makes sense. But that, I feel like there are more words that I want for that, but I think I'm gonna move from that one. Interesting energy, Cancer. Let's get a little advice from the sun. All right, Cancer. Last little bit here. All right, Cancer. So you have the Two of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and then the Moon here, Pisces energy. And let's switch back over. And that's kind of what I kind of wish I would have said something a little sooner about that, but I feel that for some, if we've just been kind of in, just more like energetically, like as far as like Pisces and Aquarius goes, because where I sometimes feel that where Aquarius is about that kind of like that first initial friendship bond and things, it's like Pisces takes it to that next level, you know, where it becomes a soul tribe, because Pisces is attuned to the to the collective energies and like in a psychic type of way. There's a deeper connection that's happening there, and I feel that there are more that there are more that there are others going through a similar type of doubts and things along those lines. Cancer, that fear, that similar sort of, you know, getting to that sort of intimate level, you know, when we're talking about emotions and things and getting into those kind of deeper things. And oh, I don't know if I mentioned two, Cancer, but she also got the Three of Cups here. But with that but it does feel that, and that actually even furthers what I'm talking about, that there are people out there that will not only just listen to you, Cancer, but will, I feel like, will restore your faith as well, you know, give you reasons to feel, to celebrate. But it's going to be something where we're going to need to take action, and we're going to have to be, there are going to be times where we're going to have to take a leap of faith, and, you know, to have hope and things that maybe they can deal with this stuff. And it might be, there may be some tougher, there will, I feel like, it's, again, it's always a balance, Cancer. There's going to be some that may not be able to handle it, and again, that's okay. That's no fault of theirs. It's just like, got it, like, okay, say less. But there are going to be those who can, you know, and I feel like that will go on that dark road with you, and then that you'll do the same with them. And I feel like it just helps make you become just a stronger nurturer in things. And I love that too. Even with all your, how your majors are all coming out, you're just going in order here, Cancer. It's just like we're going through this stuff, we're healing it, and now we're. And I feel like there's a realization that's coming with the moon, that maybe for some it's like if we feel like that no one can handle this thing, because what I feel like once we do, and see that there, you know, that there, that can be that we can keep that hope, and that there, you know, that there are others who do get at least that get it at least to some degree of what's going down there, then that leads to the next energy, the sun, where, you know, we're getting to that state of happiness, a state of calm, and a state of because I love that everyone's cheersing at the sun here, Cancer. So and just one more thing with the energies here, Cancer. Just like, this is Mercury in Cancer. You know, Mercury's about communication. That's Gemini's ruler. You know, our stuff about feelings. Just like communicating that stuff more. You know, kind of getting into that practice. You know, and I feel like that'll. I think that'll do some wonders there for you, Cancer. But I think I'm gonna leave that there. So if anything resonated with you, Cancer, give it a thumbs up and share this, because I get, especially, you know, when especially we've been going through something, maybe just got through a tower moment, or maybe going through something right now. It's a lot, you know, and it can be a lot to kind of take all of that on by yourself. And because it's that's oh, and I forgot you got the Hermit, not of all your majors, but I forgot you got the Hermit here too. But yeah, I'm about to get back into your reading here, Cancer. But yeah, share this, Cancer, and then subscribe, hit that bell button, you get notified when I release videos each day. And then last thing, if check your sun, your moon, your rising, your Mars tower, your Mercury, since we're talking about that, and then come on over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do videos weekly there. I do weekly videos, monthly videos, yearly ones. It's a good old time, Cancer. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. I like that, Cancer. Look at that. We're finding balance. Finding Sagittarius energy, optimism. I like that, Cancer, because with the Temperance card being here, I do feel that I feel like that is important to make sure that we are in relationships. You see how this person is, just balancing these waters between these two cups here. I do feel like there is a need to make sure that there is an equal exchange of energies here, that it's not just all just you just taking all this stuff, or maybe even, and you know what, it could even be vice versa, Cancer. Maybe we've been kind of pouring on a lot, and maybe we haven't been as, we're kind of more focused on self, and maybe we haven't been more open to the collective, or to our friends and things. And I don't even mean in just like in like a selfish kind of way per se. It's just like maybe you just really had a lot going on, but there might even be some instances where maybe some people in our lives, they may have had quite a bit going on here too, Cancer. But I do feel like there's a need for balance for sure, and just making sure that we're in relationships and things that have that sort of that reciprocity. And I feel like too, remembering that, in a sense, like with this hope and faith, like, even though that, again, these negative, these tower situations and things, they happen so that they give us more motivation to find that state of balance again, to work towards finding that harmony. But let me get your oracle card. Thank you. Interesting, Cancer. I like that. So you got the 19 card here, which is the Tulsi card, which is the card of wealth, and this is ruled by Mercury and Jupiter. And with this card, Cancer, I really do feel that there's an abundance that can come from that, even when we find ourselves kind of lacking this hope and faith and things, that there's always opportunities to change that stuff around and stuff, whether this be, if we, but I feel that if we find that it's when we're in that lack of hope and faith, then the abundance seems to be lacking. But when we keep that faith and keep that hope, and it's tough energy, that perseverance and things, then it's like the energies start opening up more. Like it's because it's very interesting energy that's coming through here, Cancer. And you know what I'm kind of getting from this too, when you do find yourselves in those kind of lower states, Cancer, even if we can't share this with anyone, if we do find ourselves kind of alone, maybe, or just like, that maybe if someone doesn't have the time to share things, or whatever that may be looking like, that one thing that might be able to kind of raise your vibration up some is just kind of look at the abundance that is around you, not just looking at how things are just like just crashing down. Like, what ways are, what because where the tower does bring discord and chaos and kind of destroys some foundations, it's not meant to just to keep you rocked. It's to give you new soil to kind of build up on. But we just need to have a sturdier foundation for some, and to find the wealth of, in this sense, I feel like, of healing and hope, and that faith, and Yeah, hopefully that makes sense, Cancer. But and this is a sidebar, Cancer. Tulsi, or sometimes it can be known as holy basil. I think it's either there's Vana, it's holy basil, Vana, and there's another type too. But Tulsi is actually really delicious. There, Cancer. It's really high in yeah, not medical advice, but it's high in really high in nutrients, and it can help with kind of uplifting the spirits too, as far as like depressions and things. And I almost even feel like that's even like the wealth that is finding. There's like finding a wealth within you, Cancer. And just like of how you can, I don't know, of how you can raise your vibration, but yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. So, oh, hopefully that makes sense. Oh, Cancer, I've been making really long ones, so I think I'm gonna leave that there. So, you stay safe out there. And keep eyes on the moon. I tell you, since I just went back from I'm doing a little scouting trip right now. I'm getting ready to make some moves here soon in a couple of months. But you stay safe out there, and you keep eyes on the moon. Let me get you out of here, and I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.